guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today, well, first of all, before I even get into like this video, my name's Brandon. Hi, welcome to my channel. So I tend to do astrology videos mainly. I also do like other just kind of random tidbit vlog things about my life and things like that. I do also do occasionally language videos here and there, Spanish videos, French videos, Japanese videos. I have them all around my channel. My channel's crazy. But overall, I do astrology videos. So I have my TikTok and Instagram and all those things down there. And yeah, so that's my little introduction. If you guys are new here, there's that for you. If you're not new here, you already knew all that stuff, so there's that. But anywho, so as I'm sure you can see by the title of this video, this is my astrological analysis of Ashley Strong, aka Strashme. So Ashley Strong, or Strashme, is one of the contestants that was on James Charles's reality TV show on his YouTube channel for YouTube Originals. That was Instant Influencer, which was essentially just a bunch of beauty influencers that he had gotten together through a rigorous audition process and put them in a competition with each other on YouTube. It was really, really cool, very short, came out during quarantine. It was amazing. I loved it. And she was a contestant on that show and she was phenomenal. So I have all links to her socials down there. I also have a link up here and down here of all of the YouTube Originals and links to James Charles's Instant Influencer stuff. All the socials are gonna be, just look for all the socials. But anywho, so I wanted to make this video because Ashley Strashme has also inquired, or not inquired, but she has shown interest in astrology throughout her time on YouTube and things of that nature. And I've just wanted to kind of do an astrology video for her. So the reason I'm actually doing this video is because it is Ashley's birthday as of right now. Actually, I'm 1 minute late because it is officially 12:01 in California, but it is her birthday, August 5th. It is her 29th birthday. So I want to make this video for her birthday as well, just to kind of have that, because I did also want to talk about in this video solar returns. So solar returns, I'm not sure if you know about this, but solar returns are essentially your like birthday chart. So what they do is they kind of predict the energy for the coming year and the energy of what's to come, what lessons you're going to learn specifically for the next year. And you can kind of compare it side by side with your natal chart, which is the chart that you have when you were born. And you'll be able to see what themes kind of coincide and what issues you may have, or struggles or blessings and things like that. So I did want to do a regular astrology video with just her natal chart and kind of explain that. But I also wanted to go in and explain her solar return chart. So I am going to put down in the bottom some timestamps for when I start her natal chart reading, and then when I also start her solar return reading. I think that's enough of my introduction. So let's get started, I guess. Yeah. So, I pulled her chart up maybe about 5 minutes ago, so I kind of looked at it. But, so here's the thing. So I don't have her birth time. Without having a birth time, it is a little bit more, I don't want to say difficult, but it lacks a level of depth that I would be able to reach if I had a birth time. If I had a birth time, I'd be able to reach what would be considered a 3-dimensional reading as opposed to a 2-dimensional reading. Is kind of the best way to approach it, because without the ascendant and the houses, I'm not going to be able to really see all of the themes that are going to be playing out in her chart. I can only kind of look at the energies of that, but I will be reading the chart and just kind of see where my energies go and what we kind of talk about there. She was born, Miss Ashley Strong was born on August 5th, 1991, in Anchorage, Alaska. Once again, I don't have a birth time, and as I just explained, we understand how that's going to affect the chart. She is a Leo sun, as obviously you know that. And she's a Leo sun. She's very Leo-like. And so let's go over her planets. So here's her chart over here now. Sorry, I should have done that earlier. Meh. So her chart's over there. So this is her chart without the houses, obviously. Her sun is going to be in Leo. Actually, let's just kind of go through the entire chart here. So at the bottom of the chart here in Gemini, we have her moon at 13 degrees. Then you go around the chart there, we have her Chiron at 1 degree of Leo. We have her sun at 12 degrees of Leo, Jupiter at 21 degrees of Leo. Then Mercury is in the beginning of Virgo at 5 degrees. Venus is at 6 degrees of Virgo. And Mars is at 13 degrees of Virgo. Then you kind of go up to the right, and we have that P there, which is Pluto. That's in Scorpio at 17 degrees. Then you go up to the top-ish of her chart. In Capricorn, we have Uranus at 10 degrees, Neptune at 14 degrees, North Node at 18 degrees, and then you go a little bit further left of that, kind of at the top left corner, which would be up here, I guess, is going to be her Saturn at 2 degrees of Aquarius. So that's your whole chart. That's all that information. Also, you can see at the bottom, there's also, at the bottom and all this kind of left side of the chart here, you can see all of her entire chart laid out in like a, what's that called? Like a table. So we have a table, we have the sun, and it says, 12 degrees Leo, moon, so on and so forth. And then below that, we have a little like L chart that shows all the aspects in that. So, yeah, so that's just kind of how to read this chart for those of you that don't know. So there's that. So let's just kind of go into this. So first of all, it's really interesting for her to have a sun and Jupiter in Leo. So whenever the sun and Jupiter come together, they come together once a year. So whenever that happens, that's a very rare occurrence. It's a very rare thing. It makes that solar energy very vibrant, very loud, very, very more so than it already is, sometimes to a fault. The Leo Jupiter definitely wants to be seen, definitely wants to be noticed, definitely wants to be the center of attention. But sometimes with Leo Jupiters, they can also sometimes be a little over the top. As much as Leo things come natural to them, obviously the beauty, obviously the makeup, all those Leo related things come very natural to someone like that. Sometimes it can be a little over the top, and they can overdo it. But for the most part, having your sun and Jupiter together definitely makes for a very good combination, because it makes those Leo qualities in this example very easy to access and very easy to manifest. So Leo energies are very easy for her. So Leo also represents like gambling and like that whole speculative business and those sorts of things, as well as just having fun. It also has to do with creativity and what you create. Think about anything that you put your time and energy into, your projects, your creative outlets, your things that you work towards, and you just pour your heart and soul into it, because Leo rules the heart, right? So you definitely have this energy with this chart here of just really loving what you do and living in that heart energy. And, the Leo Jupiters love children, and their children, if they have them, which I know Strashme does have, or Ashley, I don't know what to, pronouns, things, I don't know what to do, but Ashley does have a child, and those become, when they have Jupiter in Leo or Jupiter in the 5th house, or Jupiter aspecting the sun or even the moon, it makes for so much joy and happiness and love and fulfillment come from the child, or come from children in general. There's people that have Jupiter and Leo that I've seen that have found their joy in like pets and animals and taking care of animals, things like that, and just having something and someone to love, some living being to love, and it definitely shows in her personality, because she very much loves her son, and that is definitely a very strong point of manifestation and happiness and joy for her, because literally she created it from her body. She created that human, and that's the embodiment of her, and her love in that moment. So there's that. Anyway, so we have that. We have our sun and Jupiter there. We do have her Chiron also in Leo, which is an interesting combination, because Chiron, with this combination we have here, is going to make that Leo energy a little bit muted. So it's going to make, muted and also damaged. Sorry. But the Chiron definitely shows it's called the wounded healer. So it really as much as the Chiron in Leo wants to shine, and the Jupiter in Leo and the Sun in Leo wants to shine, sometimes it's scared of that. It's more so wanting to pull back sometimes. And there's definitely a wound around self-expression. There's definitely a wound around being in the spotlight. And I'm almost certain that Ashley went through a time of really not believing in herself and really not feeling that she was allowed to be in the spotlight, and she was allowed to be seen, and was allowed to be loved, and was allowed to be adored. And now it's happening for her, and she's having that adoration, and having that love, and having that platform, and using it. And I think she's doing a phenomenal job, and she's definitely living up to that Leo Jupiter and Leo Sun combination we have there. So it's interesting because she actually has two stelliums. So we obviously have that big, I don't say mess because that's really ironic with it being Virgo, but a mess of Virgo energy, and then a mess of Capricorn energy, which is very ironic with those two energies because Capricorn and Virgo are both very not messy. But anyway, so she has her Mercury, Venus, and Mars all in Virgo. So because of that, actually her Mercury, Venus, and Mars are all conjunct. Bam. So this makes a very Virgo energy. Virgo energy is very nitpicky and very perfectionist and very meticulous and very organized and very just wanting things to be a perfect way. And they're very smart. You know, Mercury and Virgo, check. Amazing, beautiful, great energy. You have, whenever there's a Mercury and Virgo placement, it makes that person so organized and well thought out, and just a great speaker, a great communicator, a great just person in general, you know. And then we have the Venus. So the Venus in Virgo makes for a... Venus doesn't like being in Virgo. Venus in Virgo is... Love in Venus is all about just accept people as they are and just living life as a fairy tale, kind of, in a sense, and having just this adoration of people and just really just admiring people and falling in love with the process. And Virgo wants that process to be organized, wants love to be organized, wants relationships to be organized, wants them to meet expectations, and wants them to fit in a box. And Venus in Virgo, it has its qualities that are great and qualities that are not so great. For the most part, it makes the native very, very, very critical of others. But it mainly comes from being critical of themselves as well, that it's projected on others in relationships and things like that. And then, you know, the Mars in Virgo is actually a pretty solid placement. Mars in most earth signs is very practical, very organized. I like Mars in Virgo. It definitely makes for a person that is very goal-oriented and is very driven to accomplish those things and knows what steps need to be taken to accomplish those things and reach that level, and is very just meticulous and very good at time management. You know, I definitely can see that she definitely reached is the right word. English is weird. Reached all of that success through meticulous planning and hard work and dedication, because having all of those Virgo energies, you know, you have to find a grounding for that. You have to find a way to really make that solid and organized and strong. And I mean, it's her last name, so she has to be strong. You know, it's literally in her name, in the energy of her name and all that stuff. She is strong. She's a strong individual, and it's very apparent by her work. It's very apparent by her success, and all of those things. So, and then I want to move a little bit down and talk about the Gemini moon. So this Gemini moon is actually at battle with, or at ends with, I guess, the Virgo energy. So the Gemini moon, Gemini and Virgo, you would think would get along really well because they're both ruled by Mercury. But Gemini is the outward expression of things. So think extroverted, think talking about things, think just kind of just talking, just letting it out, you know, like the active action of it. Virgo is the more internalized, With this much Virgo, I don't think it can be internalized though, but for the most part, Virgo is pretty internalized in regards to Mercury. It's the introverted expression of Mercury. So it's more of the critical thinking. It's more of the, what can I do next? Where am I going to go? How is this going to end up? Things like that. That is the Virgo energy. So the moon there, I feel really sad for her moon a little bit. Just because Gemini moon in general it's an interesting moon placement. It makes for someone that needs to talk about their feelings a lot. So definitely having someone to talk to about real, raw, authentic emotions is really important for a Gemini moon. And just being able to talk it out, having an outlet that has to do with words, whether it's journaling, writing, blogging, vlogging, or just a conversation with friends, just a phone call, catching up, venting, therapist, whatever, anything, but sometimes Gemini, especially Gemini, they definitely have a shallowness to them. And I can see here that she definitely has a lot of depth to her. And sometimes Gemini energy doesn't like to go deep. Gemini energy likes to stay on the surface, and Gemini energy likes to be very floaty and very just social and normal, right? Talk about politics and maybe not politics. Talk about like the weather and basic stuff and day-to-day stuff. But the Scorpio energy, the depth of people wants to talk about intimacy and dark things and things people don't want to talk about, and the reasons why people are doing things, their motives, things like that. Think Scorpio. So there's that. But it definitely, the Virgo energy, her moon square Mercury, Venus, and Mars. So emotions for her might be difficult to express. And I think honestly with this, she expresses her emotions through her work. She expresses how she feels through her work. And that I think is why she found makeup and art and all of everything, just artistry in general, such a good outlet for her, because it allows her to express her feelings in a physical way. Because moon in Gemini tends to talk about things, right? But we have all that square in her Virgo energy, which really wants something physical to happen, something like paper-wise, art-wise to be created, and then we have a Jupiter in Leo that even adds to that energy of just creativity, right? So there's a lot of creativity, there's a lot of need to create and use the hands. Both Gemini and Virgo rule the physical hands, and like actually writing in the fingers. So definitely using those and utilizing those skills. I'm very surprised she doesn't have any Taurus in her chart. I'm very surprised, actually, because she definitely gives off pretty strong Taurus vibes. I don't know if there's a Taurus midheaven or Taurus ascendant, Taurus 7th house. I don't know. But I definitely get some Taurus-y vibes off of her. But anywho, so then we have her stellium in Capricorn, which is Uranus, Neptune, North Node. And so... Okay, so Capricorn, North Node, Uranus, Neptune energy, okay? I also have it. So I know how it be, girl. Like, it's rough. Because you want to, first of all, the North Node in Capricorn wants you to move towards a success, towards status, towards creating something sustainable, having just success, having success in a physical, manifested way. So building an empire, building a career, that's Capricorn. Capricorn wants that. Your North Node wants that. Your South Node's in Cancer, as is mine, and it makes for a person that kind of shies away from building a family, for whatever reason that may be. For the family maybe not being supportive, or from the family not being around, or for just feeling like the family is just stable. Like, you don't need to work on your family because your family's just fine. You don't need to focus your energy on that. You feel safe at home, or you feel like you've accomplished what you need to do at home. So then you can move forward into your outer world, into your career, and create something sustainable, so that you can then bring home to your family that you create, whether that's your physical family, your whatever you consider family. The Cancer South Node wants you to create something out of yourself, I guess, and then be able to bring that back to your family and support yourself. And Cancer South Node really needs to know how to feel safe with themselves emotionally and have a safe space. So that's really what I would definitely recommend for her, is just find a safe space, find an energy where she feels supported, and whatever that may be, whether it is the public sector or not, because I could know for someone that has a North Node in Capricorn, you also definitely want, or at least for me, I feel the need to move towards the public, and I think that's where I feel the most fulfilled and the most myself. But then when I come back home and I'm with myself, it's a little hard, a little difficult for me to feel safe and feel at home and feel like I can put my guard down and I can be myself and I can kind of recharge. So that's really what I would recommend for her, is to have a really strong support, you know. So there's that. We have her Saturn in Aquarius. So for those of you that don't know, Saturn is going to go into Aquarius right around December again, because right now it's in Capricorn, it's retrograde until September, and then it goes forward, and then it should go back into Aquarius permanently for the remainder of its transit, which then means that she will be going through her Saturn return, like officially again, because it's really crazy, because having Saturn there, like Saturn goes in it and then goes back and then goes back again. So really a lot of things are going to really be ramping up for her career-wise in the next 2.5-3 years. So March of 2023 is when it officially goes out of Aquarius. And all those lessons, all those things should be learned, should be solidified for her. Saturn in Aquarius is all about learning like a cause, finding something you believe in and fighting for it. It has to do with friendships, so definitely Saturn in Aquarius needs to learn friendships and learn what real friends are and what fake friends are, you know, because Saturn in Aquarius people definitely have, I mean, I know because I have it, you know, they attract a lot of friends, they attract a lot of people, and sometimes that's not always the best thing for them, and they need to figure out what true friendship is and really understand what real connection is and why people are actually there, and be able to see through the BS and see what their motives are. Because if someone were to get that level of status and that level of, you know, that Capricorn level, right, that achievement, right, and then get friends, get a circle, you know, you don't know where their motives are. You know, there's a lot of people that they become famous and they become in that circle, and then their friends are kind of vain, you know. And I'm not saying that's the case with her. I'm just saying that Saturn and Aquarius in general need to, Saturn and Aquarius, North Node Capricorn, really needs to learn what real friendship is, so that when they reach that level of achievement, they don't feel like they're better than their previous friends, or they just need to know what real friendship is, despite their status. That's it. End of point blank period. That's it. They need to know what real friends is, regardless of what status they're at. And with her status changing, and her reaching this level of notoriety, there definitely needs to be an assessment of that. And with Saturn going through Aquarius in the next 2.5 years, that will definitely be happening for her, without a doubt. For all of us, actually, for the entire globe, we'll be understanding boundaries and friendships and what causes we want to stand up for. So there's that. So that is her her chart in regards to the natal chart. So I am going to be doing her solar return chart here separately. So that's the natal part. The solar return chart is going to be coming up next. Yeah, so much that. So stay tuned for part 2. All right, we are back. This is part 2. This is going to be the solar return chart. So solar return charts are when your sun returns to when it was. So it is your birthday chart. So what this means is this is what is in store for Miss Ashley Strong for the next year. So these are where all the planets have fallen since then. For her solar return chart, which I'm going to put up here now, we have her sun in Leo, obviously. Mercury is in Cancer. North Node and Venus are conjunct in Gemini, which is a very important point. We'll get to that in a second. Uranus is in Taurus. Mars in Chiron is in Aries. Neptune's in Pisces. The moon is at the end of Aquarius. And then Pluto, Jupiter, and Saturn are in Capricorn. So, let's go right into the Venus North Node conjunction we got going on. So, with Venus and North Node conjuncting in Gemini, which is fairly close-ish to her moon, girl gonna find love, in my opinion. She's either gonna find love or she's going to find value in herself. Find a lot of value and be surrounded by love. It doesn't necessarily mean a singular person. It could be more than one, because Venus in Gemini is very, as I've said with the moon in Gemini, kind of shallow. So Venus in Gemini could definitely be more of people that she's talking to, I guess, more of that. But when Venus and the North Node come together, it accentuates that Venus, accentuates that time. So you're definitely going to have a theme of understanding more about love. We have it square your Neptune, or the Neptune in the solar return. So what that means is there's going to be a need to not be delusional, a need to balance reality with fantasy in regards to love. Because Venus and Neptune really like each other, but Venus and Neptune tends to make things delusional or not real, and makes it out of touch with reality. So there definitely needs to be a balance with that and understanding who is real and who's not, in regards to friendships, relationships, love interests, things like that. But also Venus and Neptune can also manifest very beautiful art, very beautiful, amazing creations, and really being in touch with the divine and channeling that into your art and your creativity and your life and your day-to-day. Really living from love and living from the heart. And that is a very Leo thing to do. And it seems to be very natural for Ashley. So I definitely see that as a possibility. So we also have Mercury in Cancer, which is right on top of her Chiron. So this year is going to be a year for her to communicate about her feelings, about her pain, let it out, and maybe use her platform to talk about more of her deeper, darker things and what she's gone through, because Mercury definitely wants to communicate that, and it's opposite all that. This is, if she really wants to see success and she really wants to be known, she has to be different. She has to build a brand, in my opinion. I mean, I'm barely anyone in regards to that, but in my own opinion, it would be really important to build a brand around authenticity, in regards to, communicating about things, because Mercury, so if you can see here, Mercury is opposite all of that Capricorn stuff. And if you remember, she has her North Node in Capricorn, which is very much needed to, the Mercury is very much wanting to talk about those Capricorn things, and all that Capricorn energy is forcing that Mercury to talk about that stuff. And it's right on her Chiron. So girl needs to talk about her pain. Girl needs to talk about her suffering. Girl needs to be and build a brand around that sort of honest talks and honest conversations and harder conversations that people don't tend to have with cameras. People don't tend to have with cameras with social media. They don't do that. They don't. They don't talk about deeper, darker things. They just kind of let, have a facade. They filter it out, they edit it, which is the main reason I don't edit pretty much any of my videos, because I want to be as authentic as possible and as real as possible and just talk about everything. But I think building a brand around that, I don't know how the makeup community, the beauty community is. I don't know how, I've heard things of the beauty community. I don't consider myself part of the beauty community, but I don't know how easy that would be to be an authentic YouTuber and creator and artist and influencer, and being able to be that authentic, real thing and not be rejected or hurt or, shunned within that community. It's a very hard line to walk, and I can only imagine, even James Charles or anyone that's reached a level of that within any sphere, let alone the beauty community. There's levels of needing to balance that and sustain that, and this Mercury needs her to communicate those things for the next year, mainly, and that's what will lead to a lot of her success. Then we have her moon in Aquarius, which then kind of re-emphasizes the point I said earlier about friendships and understanding what real friendship is, because Aquarius is all about that, and having the moon there means that there needs to be an emotional connection to friendships, and feel like there's an emotional drive towards causes as well, and finding your soul tribe and your family that's outside of your real family, your friends, your support, and that, and really understanding what real friends and support and fans are, and understand the difference between friends and support and fans, and understand what real friendship is. That's really important for Saturn in Aquarius and the moon in Aquarius for the next year for her. Mars in Aries, great energy for everyone. Mars in Aries is all about action and getting things done, so it's definitely going to cause a lot of it's going to cause a lot of action and things to be accomplished, and it's actually squaring that Mercury, so there's even more tension with that Mercury to communicate those things, because Mercury and Mars is a pretty, they don't really like each other, because when Mercury and Mars come together, it causes communication issues and fights and arguments and drama and all those things that Mercury doesn't really always like to cause. But Mercury squaring the Mars definitely needs to balance that out. And then Mercury is opposite all of that energy there, all that Pluto, Jupiter, Saturn energy, which is just a big mess of like really heavy energy that's pushing this Mercury to talk about deeper political, powerful status, beliefs, everything. Just talk about all the things that haven't been talked about and need to be talked about. I mean, I'm sure you've seen it in our climate, with our entire country, everything going on. It's very difficult. It's a very rough, tough, difficult time, and using your platform, or using whatever you can, using your voice in general to just speak about what needs to be spoken about. Speak about darkness, speak about pain, speak about power, speak about authenticity, speak about status, speak about beliefs, speak about religion, speak about spirituality, astrology, whatever it is you want to speak about that is your truth, speak that, because Mercury needs you to do that. Mercury in Cancer especially needs you to do that. And overall, this chart is pretty, the solar return chart for everybody this year is going to be really intense, just because of the energies of 2020. But it definitely shows a need to stand out, stand different, and I would recommend for her to really have a brand around just being authentic and being real, and finding a way to do that, because I think that's what's going to be the most accepted, and that's what's going to, well, maybe not the most accepted, but that's what's going to really put her in her niche of her own, because she would then be an influencer, a creator, an artist that strips away the camera, and makes the conversation that they have with this feel real. And I think all of us want to do that. All of us want connection. All of us want love. All of us want to be admired and be seen and be acknowledged. And I think once someone reaches that, they need to find a way to sustain themselves and not lose themselves in that. And I think I think she's doing a very good job thus far. And I don't foresee her faulting that or losing that status. I do think that there needs to be communication of things, using her platform to be authentic and be real and be open. And she has a lot of, even when you look at it from, it's really interesting too, because when you look at it from her solar, when I say solar chart, I mean making her sun her first house. So her Leo sun is her first house. If you make her Leo sun her first house, she has her moon in the 11th house, which is all wrapped around the whole theme of Aquarius, and really finding, your soul family outside of your family, and finding your cause, finding your people, finding friendships, really knowing what true friendship is and true value is, and knowing what makes people tick and why people are the way they are and why they care for you and where they fall on that spectrum of friendship and what type of friend they really are. There's so much to be said for friendship alone. And I think learning about friendship is really important. She does technically have her, according to her solar chart, she has her Saturn in her 7th, which also has to go with, the whole relational sort of karma and understanding relations with people and others and partnerships and those sorts of things, because I could definitely see people, you know, definitely using her in different ways. I'm not quite sure. You know, there's definitely a need for she's a very powerful person, you know, a need for her to assert her power and assert her own personal power and believe in herself and really believe in that and use that and be actually strong and be strong and go forward, because that's what needs to be done. You know, that's what the beauty community needs, is someone to be strong and be that voice, you know, for themselves, for authenticity, for the people that don't feel heard in the beauty community. Because with the beauty community, you know, you put on this makeup, you put on all those things, and just like, you know, it's very fitting, you know, the whole taking off the makeup sort of thing. And I'm referencing the show for those that haven't watched it. Once again, watch it. Links in the bio, or not the bio, links in the description, and all those things for the whole series and everything. But definitely having a more vulnerable side and letting things out and being more real and more authentic and more raw, you know, and stripping away, like I said, stripping away the screen and just being really you know, because with all the makeup and stuff, that's amazing, it's phenomenal, but who's the person behind that? And I think that's what's most important to make an impact in the beauty community, or any community for that matter, is to be authentic and be real. And I think the beauty community needs that. I don't know if they have that or not entirely, but I know that there's ways to be authentic and be real and be yourself within that. So yeah, I mean, that's just a little tidbit, random thing. But yeah, so that is going to be her astrology for Miss Ashley Strong, Strashme. Thank you guys for watching. Happy birthday to Miss Ashley Strong. I am so happy I got to this video. I cannot wait to see what you do with your platform, and where you go moving forward with this. And she's definitely a phenomenal human, and she deserves all the success that she has amassed. And it's very apparent that she's going places. And if you guys haven't watched the YouTube original Instant Influencer, it's going to be linked in the description, as well as all of her socials, James Charles' socials, all the socials, all the things are going to be linked down there, so you can watch all that. I would highly recommend watching the video of Instant Influencer, the whole series, because it's just an amazing series. You can binge it in like one day, half a day, whatever you want to do. And you know, there's so much to be said about this, and I barely know anything about the beauty community, so I'm not gonna act like I do, but I think just within her personality and with how she is such a strong human, and she's going to accomplish so much if she just stays consistent, and I know she will with all that Virgo energy and Capricorn energy, I have no doubt. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is another one of my astrological analysis videos. I'm gonna be doing more of these. I have a bunch already made that I just have to put out there. If you guys have any suggestions for different people for me to astrologically analyze, please do that. Comment down below what you thought about this. And yeah, I love you guys. And if you guys have any questions about astrology, feel free to peruse my channel. I have lots of different videos there, or feel free to comment here or message me on any of my socials. My socials will be down there. Yeah, I love you guys. Once again, happy birthday, Ashley. Thank you guys for watching, listening, all the things. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you guys later. All right, bye.